Why did Blockbuster go out of business? The famous story of Blockbuster ignoring the little-known DVD delivery upstart called Netflix has been around on the internet for many years. Blockbuster stores were on every corner, almost, of the big cities. And then it disappeared. What happened? First, what is Blockbuster? If you're asking this question, you must have grown up in the true digital age. Blockbuster was a movie rental business in the 90s and 2000s. Its stores were filled with movies on VHS tapes and then later DVDs. Throughout the 90s, it took out mom and pop shops to become the dominant player in the home entertainment industry. Then came the internet. At first, Blockbuster didn't acknowledge the true potential of the internet. Who would watch movies on the internet? It was slow and the screens were so small, so they ignored it. Then came Netflix, an upstart company out of the Silicon Valley who wanted to take on the giants and change the world. Netflix took the first step to digitally transform the movie rental industry by renting out DVDs. This was a move that was made out of necessity rather than deliberate planning. See, Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, wanted to start a business and he wanted to ship some stuff. He tried shipping VHS tapes, but it was expensive and they would break during the shipping process. DVDs, brand new technology at the time, were cheaper, and if you packaged them correctly, they would be hard to break. Also, they delivered a superior movie watching experience to the clients. So Netflix transformed and became the leader in the DVD rental space. Blockbuster, watching the success of its little, upstart, this little upstart from Silicon Valley, decided to join in. DVDs were it. But what Blockbuster didn't know was the secret plan that Netflix was working on that would change the movie rental industry forever. Netflix understood that in the digital world, the survival of the most agile mattered most. And to be the most agile, you have to adopt the digital transformation mindset. The company set out to transform itself again, but this time it was a deliberate process. Netflix spent time researching and developing streaming movies over the internet. Their research and forward thinking led to a proprietary technology that allowed them to stream high quality movies over internet connections that would be deemed too slow in today's world. Blockbuster didn't even bat an eye. They thought they had reconquered the digital space with their DVD rental transformation, but they were a few years behind. And in the internet age, a few years might as well be a few centuries. Netflix went on to become the leader in online content delivery and entertainment, while Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy, was sold, and eventually dismantled. The sad story of Blockbuster is on the verge of being repeated by many businesses and organizations around the world. The Netflix versus Blockbuster era was a time of tremendous technological disruption, but today we are living through an asteroid-like effect that AI will have on everything that we do. To stay ahead of the curve, we must reevaluate how we run our businesses, optimize our operations, and prepare ourselves for the future world of AI. So how does one do that? Digital transformation has been around for decades. In the early days, it was simple. It involved taking a manual process and automating it with technology. Car manufacturers were the early adopters of digital transformation. Robots built to make cars helped eliminate cumbersome work and dangerous work that humans were doing when building cars, and it helped automate some of the processes of car manufacturing. Software became the vehicle of digital transformation when personal computers became cheap enough for businesses to afford them and buy them. Many paper-based processes like inventory, accounting, project management, and communications were transformed and became part of the new technological era that we're experiencing today. That process was the digital transformation. The original digital transformation process worked like this. First, you examine your manual process, identify each step, and then document it. 2, you build the software to automate the process. 3, you test it. 4, you replace the manual process with the new software. As the software digital transformation continued and the software got more complex, a new stage of the digital transformation was born. This new stage was a slight modification on the original one. Step 1. Examine the software you use. Step 2. Redesign and build new software to work on the internet or the intranet. Step 3. Test it. Step 4. Replace the old software with the new software. This was a revolutionary stage because of the internet, and it ushered in the true digital transformation of the digital world. The digital transformation process evolved over the years. Some say it was digitally transformed with the adoption of the internet. So the next stage looked like this. Examine the existing software that you have on the internet. Figure out how to connect it to other software on the internet. Redesign and rebuild the software so that your software can connect to other software on the internet. Test it, and then replace the old software with the new software. During this stage, there was also a side phase that developed over the years in organizations. It was about taking the old software that you built that's been aging gracefully or not so gracefully, and then making it work on the new internet of today, in the cloud, as they say. And it followed a similar but a little bit different process. So first, you looked at the old software that is not internet based. You've rebuilt it so that it worked on the internet. You ensured that it could connect to other software on the internet, and then tested it, and then replaced the old software with the new software. Basically, this is where we are today. We still have many other processes that need to be transformed in our organizations and businesses. There are many manual processes that have not been adopted into software or automated in any way, which means that the digital transformation is still doing the good old work of taking a manual step-by-step process and making it more efficient by automating it. But there's also several other tasks. There's old software that is no longer suitable for the new digital age. It needs to be upgraded and modernized. There's also data. Data that used to live on paper now lives in the cloud, in the databases and data lakes and data ponds. So the data now needs to be transformed and prepared for the new age of AI. So how does digital transformation actually work today? As always, as with any transformation, you have to begin with an assessment phase. During this phase, you must understand the state of your software, your processes, and your data. And to do this, you have to ask questions. Questions like, how old is our software? Is it up to date with the latest security patches? Can we update it easily? Is it easy to extract the data for analysis and reporting from our software? Does it deliver value to customers? Does it make operations more efficient? After having assessed the software, the next step is to look at how your data is structured. Ask the same questions. Data is the lifeblood of a digital-first company, and in the new digital age, every company must become digital-first. Data questions are similar to software questions. Do we have the right data for the business? Is the data structured well and provides business value? Is it secure? Who has access to it? Do we have enough data? Is data backed up properly, and can it be retrieved quickly after the disaster? So these are the type of questions that you must ask for software and data processes. But there's also one last phase that you need to have an assessment of, which is the processes in the business. So are there processes that haven't been automated, that are still manual, that are simple enough and easy enough and repeatable that could be automated? Can you automate these processes? How are these processes delivering value? Is it costing you money to deliver value? Things like that. So these are the types of questions you must ask and answer before you begin your digital transformation. This will form the basis, the nucleus of your digital transformation strategy. As you build out your digital transformation strategy, the important part of that process is also to figure out which software to modernize first, which process to automate, to pick a direction, pick an approach that you're going to take. Making decisions is difficult, and every action requires resources and time to implement. Risk is also involved. Knowing that you're making the right bet is impossible. We don't know the future, but not making a bet could be very, very detrimental to your business or your organization. So after you have made all your decisions and aligned your digital transformation strategy, the next step is to do the transformation. This is the inevitable planning to execution transition. And even in execution, there are places where you still need to figure out exactly where to start. Like, where should you, when you're modernizing a piece of software, where do you start first? Which part is the most important? Where will you get the most value? Who should do the transformation? Should it be done in-house? Should it be outsourced? Should you hire a consultant to manage the whole project? Can you hire somebody to help with a particular aspect of the transformation or the whole thing, as I said? How do you test ahead of time to make sure that your digital transformation plan and your execution plan is actually going to work? What is the backup plan? What if everything fails? What happens then? The disaster recovery planning. And finally, once you've built this new system, automated the processes, built the software, what is the next step? The next step is, how do you transition from the old to the new? This is one of the crucial points that a lot of digital transformations fail to address until the end. You have to address them at the very beginning as you begin to develop your execution plan and as you begin to kind of start doing these things, because there's inevitably going to be surprises in the end, and you don't want those surprises to be big enough to bring down the whole project. So as the transformation proceeds, answers to these questions above will guide you and will either make you succeed or fail. But you have to have answers to these questions. Finally, at the very end, the last part is to measure the performance. Is the digital transformation successful? Is it failing? How do you know? So you would measure at the very beginning, have a line on a metric, 1 metric, 2, 3 metrics at most, that would tell you whether you're going in the right direction and whether what you've done actually made a difference. The data you collect will be used by you and others to improve the business, the organization, the departments, and fix any problems that may arise. To summarize how digital transformation works, here are the 6 steps that you must follow. 1. Assess your software that you have and use. 2. Assess the data that you create, collect, and report. 3. Assess the processes that run your business. 4. Pick a digital transformation approach and define your strategy. 5. Do the transformation. This is probably the longest part of the transformation. And 6. Measure the impact, learn, and improve. These steps sound simple, and it is a simple process on the surface, but it is a difficult and high impact undertaking that you must do in order to succeed in the new digital world with AI and the rapid changing technological surface. So this has been how digital transformation works. If you want to learn more about digital transformation, subscribe to the channel or watch one of the videos that will appear shortly on either side of me. Until then, have a good day.